Hey folks, welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today I'm going to be going over the prophetic cryptocurrency SHINA Inu. As many of you should already know, approximately on January 10th of 2022, Dr. Maria Conwell had a vision concerning SHINA Inu, and that prophecy came to pass on April the 1st. And there was a lot of excitement in the community, but there's some things that I want to discuss, and some of those things have to do with the debate on whether to buy it or not. And also I'm going to highlight some mistakes, even mistakes that I made in the wealth transfer community, but also some very positive things that actually came out of this. Now, first, before I get into this, folks, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing information and giving you my thoughts and my opinions on this information. If you guys like these videos that I make and you want to support, those links are down below in the description and also the About section of YouTube, the Patreon, PayPal, and so on. All right, so on January 10th, in this post by Dr. Maria Conwell, the Lord is revealing the hidden treasures before they come into existence. She had a vision on January 9th where she saw SHINA Inu. She goes in to explain what she saw. Right? And April the 1st, it was released, and there was a lot of excitement in the community. And then things kind of turned into like this debate on whether or not if we should actually purchase SHINA Inu. Now, looking at the pricing, I showed you guys where the bottom was and about where I purchased SHINA Inu. And you can see where it's close to approximately about where I actually bought it from. But a lot of mistakes were made and there was a lot of excitement, and I kind of understood the excitement that came with this because it's like trying to take a piece of prophetic history in the wealth transfer. And a lot of people bought in at the very high. As you can see here, there was a lot of people that were buying in. And just to kind of show you how much this went up from the time that it was released, when I look at the 1 week chart, it actually went up by 49,458%. So for those of you who got in at the very bottom and did not sell at this point, you probably missed out on a lot of money because I did not sell either. So when I bought in, it was actually still pretty low. One of the first messages that I got that I didn't get to see until later on around 6 o'clock that evening, and actually I received the email pretty early in the morning. Just $100 would have bought you 2 billion Shiba Inu. So after it skyrocketed, I remember seeing it I remember my investment being up at least about 5 or 6 times the amount that I put in. And I ended up going to sleep. I stayed up till about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I should have continued to stay up. And that was another mistake that I made because it just, as you can see, it went up a total of 49,000% from its bottom. I don't know what the percentage is from where I bought it from, but I never actually physically got to see that high of how much profit I would have taken if I would have taken it at that point. And I think a lot of people who did buy before I did or around the same point as I did could have made a lot of money in a short period of time. Now, as you can see, that SHINA has actually dropped down dramatically, almost to the point that where I bought it from. So if people bought in around the high of 49,000%, how much do you think that they're down right now? And this actually kind of models what happened to Shiba Inu. A lot of people bought in, it went down tremendously, and people had to wait for some time to recoup their losses, right? They were holding and waiting. So I really feel sorry for those people who did buy up there closer to the top. And that's what I shared in an update, that you just don't always want to just jump in unless you are close to the bottom. You know, wait for it to come back down. And it actually has dropped down a lot. Now, one of the debates that I want to get into, because it is heavily debated, especially among the Z3 community, as far as whether or not if we should buy this particular coin. Right? I wouldn't have recommended you buying at the very top because you can see where the price is at now. One of the bigger mistakes that was made, this was on myself too as well, is that when I was going in to buy it, I couldn't figure out which Ethereum wallet I had on MetaMask. I had to hurry up and find a different platform to use because I couldn't figure out how to delete the wallet that I had on there or even how to start a new one. It was very confusing to me. and I should have already been in position. I should have already just went in and just spent a little bit of money just learning the process on how to buy coin on MetaMask, right, and Uniswap. And if I would have done that, I would have been in a better position. Because I think once I found out, it maybe took me an hour or hour and a half before I actually made that purchase. So I could have even got in even lower. So going over the debate of whether or not if we should get into this coin, this is one of the things that was pointed out to me, because I did say that Dr. Maria Conwell did give instructions. So what I was reminded, I went back and looked at the instructions. She did say the Lord recommended for me to take Shiba Inu profits and put it into this new coin at the appropriate time. So if Shiba Inu moves up in April through June, then the profits can go into this new coin sometime after that. God had given her specific instructions. It would be different if she said the Lord recommended for everyone to take some Shiba Inu profits and put it into this new coin. And so I wanted to point out a couple things. And we go back to Claudia's dream. She's a Patreon member. I've discussed several of her dreams that she's had. And this is what her instructions were in this order, right? Shiba, then XLM, then XRP. And this is, and here's another example of just instructions, right? This is not necessarily for everybody, right? And this was Kingdom War, right? Tim, he's on the Patreon and in the Discord. I have a position in the VIXI, the increase of the fear index. He showed me I should hold it until it reaches $147, then sell it immediately and buy some Equinox Gold, EQX, right? Trading VIXI involves a little knowledge and skill, so you don't get burned. Not for newbies. I have lost money with it. Okay, so he was given specific instructions about this. When he first got this, it wasn't necessarily for the whole entire community. But now that the whole entire community sees this, and if you learn how to trade these, then you can somewhat follow these instructions. These were personal instructions that he's following that God is giving him. And we even have Prophet Sharon, who talks about her own specific instructions, what the Lord instructed her to do. I want people to keep that in mind. And when you get a prophecy, is this particular prophecy an investment for you? Is it for you at the time? Or do we follow the instructions that maybe the prophet had? So everybody has to pray about it. I think that if you're a beginner and you're just learning these things, sometimes you might want to go ahead and just wait and follow the instructions on what God is showing this particular person. That way, by the time that this happens, you'll be more knowledgeable in how to trade cryptocurrency. Because this was the thing. How many people that are listening already had their MetaMask set up? Right? Because I told you in a previous video that this coin could be released on a website or on a platform like MetaMask. Right? And we saw that's exactly what took place. So a lot of people were not ready. So when this coin was released, you had to go through the process of setting up MetaMask. And then you had to add your wallet. And then you had to go in and buy it on Uniswap. Right? So you had to try to do that all within a short period of time. So the lesson learned in that is to be prepared. So when people, as the day went on, more and more people were finding out about it, but they weren't even looking at any of the charts or anything like that at all whatsoever. And so a lot of people did buy in at the top here. And as I showed you before, it was up by 49,000%. 49,000%. So could you imagine being one of those people that bought up this high and then now you see where it's at? That's absolutely insane on the amount of money that was lost when people bought up here at the top. There is some other reasons why this did go down too as well. But, there are people out there that are investing in every single new coin that comes out, and they're making a lot of money off of it. And people are going to swing trade any crypto and any stock when they see an opportunity. Do you think that the people that bought in less than me or a little bit more than me that were swing traders, do you think that they held on to it after it began to fall? A lot of people didn't, because obviously you see all the selling that occurred. Now, I'm estimating about where I bought it from. I remember going to bed about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I saw my investment up at that point in time about 5 times the amount that I put in. So this 49,000% that when it hit, I'm suspecting that I was asleep at that time. And so the mistake for me that I made is that when I have an investment like this and you're trading through like these swaps and you invest into a new coin or a coin that's been out. I mean, just imagine if another word comes out tomorrow about a coin that's on MetaMask, right? Are you prepared? See, and then you also have to be prepared to watch it too as well. So if you buy something at 1 o'clock in the morning and there's a possibility it could skyrocket, you might have to set your clock to wake up every hour to check this thing or stay up and watch it. And if I would have stayed up and watched it, a lot of things could have changed for me as far as my life at that point. And then I'm telling myself I should have bought a whole bunch of more because it was just a test. I was just testing it out to see, make sure everything was smooth. I could make a purchase. I know people were going to ask about it. That would be a mistake that I made, was not selling. But guess what, folks? If I was selling up here, it would have been a lot of you guys buying that. So there's no telling when this is going to go back up to that high again. And all it really takes, and this is the reason why you need to be ready and be watching, is just say some YouTuber that has like 50 or 100,000 subscribers and they mention Shiba Inu. What do you think is going to happen? They're all going to go in and buy it, and you're going to see it skyrocket again, right? So I believe that there's going to be opportunities to make money, especially if you're a swing trader. I see the different opportunities where you could have bought in and made money. Then we had to be very careful because then it did come down crashing. Now, one of the things I do want to point out, and this is another lesson, 16 hours ago, Shiba Inu put out a tweet and it said, "Hi everyone, today we had a large sell from a large SHINA token holder who reportedly was using MetaMask on iPhone and their wallet was wiped clean. Thankfully, our amazing community and supporters almost bought up the dip and we are back on track." Then another couple hours later, another tweet, "Hi everyone, due to the unfortunate circumstances with a whale's wallet getting hacked today, we have decided to buy back and burn 30 Ether of the supply as a token of our appreciation and to signal our long-term vision and belief in this project. Love you all." All right, so they end up buying back 30 Ether of the supply. So that's a lot when you look at the price of Ethereum, and 30 of those, yeah, they did spend some money to burn those tokens. So, but this is a lesson. When it comes to MetaMask, now you could do the research, just type in MetaMask, hacked iPhone, whatever phone service that you're using, if you're using MetaMask on your phone, and also on your desktop too as well. Because when you do put it in, there's all these different stories from people about getting hacked. And one of the biggest things you have to look at is when you're using it on your desktop, it is connected to your Google Chrome. So if you're visiting websites that you're not supposed to be, or opening up emails you're not supposed to be, or downloading things you're not supposed to be, that's why I recommended a long time ago. I think people should really look at getting a separate computer just to do their trading on, where you're not doing surfing and stuff like that. And then that way you are less likely to get hacked. Now, it is possible if you have a weak password to be brute forced hacked, which means that you have a very weak password and they're able to get in because of that. And so I want you guys to do a little bit of research on that so you don't make the same mistakes. Right? This article here, my MetaMask Ether wallet was hacked. She doesn't know how it was hacked. It could be a number of things that could have happened, but most of these people are not getting their money back. Being the Shiba Inu whale who just lost all that money just that quick. Now, if he would have waited to purchase, maybe he could have purchased a couple thousand or 1,000 or 500, and then he got hacked. It wouldn't have been so bad, right? So you have to be careful whether you're on your desktop or whether you're on your phone. As for an example, on Twitter, if you were to type in anything dealing with MetaMask, right, sometimes you'll get these bots that will reply to your post, and they'll claim to be MetaMask support. And if you're having problems, if somebody tweets out, "I'm having problems with my MetaMask," they're going to get a reply from a fake MetaMask support account. And people fall for that. And there's two things about this. FOMO, fear of missing out. A lot of people bought in, fear of missing out, thinking that this thing was going to take off. this also shows how strong the wealth transfer community is. And I haven't even released the main video yet. I was actually fearful of putting out the video dealing with the prophecy coming to pass, right? Because I knew everybody was going to go in and buy in. And if I had put that video out, say the next day, a lot of people would have been buying in at this point, and they'd be very, very upset. And so for people who felt like they were missing out by not buying in at all whatsoever, well, look where it's at now, right? It's close to where I bought it from. So don't feel bad if you felt like you were going to miss out. There are people that swing trade, they trade by the charts, and that's how they make their money. And it doesn't matter whether it's a prophetic coin or not. It's any cryptocurrency. I still have it on the Patreon, and I am going to make it public because I think that we have seen the mistakes that were made. We've seen the FOMO, and I do believe that that if you were going to buy in, you would want to try to buy in around the price where I bought it from or even lower. Who knows, by the time that we get investments from Shiba Inu, that this could be close to the very bottom. I have no clue, no idea. So the debate on whether or not you should buy it, that should be between you and God. That's one of the things that overall we have to learn how to let go of stocks or cryptos at certain points. It's just like when I shared with everybody, when it came to Zion Oil, when it reached 35 cents, I told people to put in stop losses because we were still months away from any type of major announcement. And guess what happened? It went from 35 cents to all the way down to 10 cents, right? And for those of you who would have put in your stop losses, say at 30 cents or 25 cents or 20 cents, you could have doubled or tripled your investment with Zion Oil. And some of you were even buying in at 25 cents and 30 cents. And I'm like, please put in your stop losses because it's not ready yet, right? And you could have had more stocks than what you had. And so this goes for the same thing. Say, for instance, in the next week, a YouTuber puts out on YouTube that's very popular. He has a lot of subscribers. The same exact thing could happen again. But this time, you're going to be ready. And this time, you're going to be able to let it go. So just going over some of the mistakes that I made. The big one was really not following the investment after I put it in, knowing that it was skyrocketing at the time. And I should have paid close attention regardless of the sleep that I would have lost. Like I said, I couldn't remember which wallet that I was using for my MetaMask. Because I should have went ahead and made my first purchase in MetaMask when I first signed up with it, just to know how to use it. And keep in mind also, you heard what happened with the whale, with the Shiba Inu whale, and he lost everything. In order for him to get his investment back, he's going to have to consider whether or not if he should go ahead and buy in. But then now he's got to, if I was him, I would just get a whole new iPhone. If I got hacked because it was something that was on my phone and I didn't know, I would just go ahead and go get a whole new phone. And whether or not if you should buy it, that is between you and God and where your position is at financially. I do believe that we are getting closer and closer to the wealth transfer really beginning. The pullback is here and it's continuing to happen. We're still waiting on flash crash dealing with Bitcoin. And this is how fast things could happen. Basically, I was asleep. The way I look at it when I'm looking at the time, that when it was up to 49,000%. So things can go up and skyrocket when you're asleep because the cryptocurrency industry trades 24 hours. So anyways, you guys tell me what you think. Tell me your experiences. Were you one of the ones that bought in at the top? Did anybody actually make any money off of Shiba Inu when it was up by 49,000%? Let me know down below in the description. Also, too, I do want to point out that the Shiba Inu prophecy document list is down below in the description. There's the website, the Uniswap, the DEX tool that I was showing you, Dr. Maria, and what she said that what God showed her what to do, how to use, and then I have videos on how to use MetaMask and how to use Uniswap. All right, so that'll be down below in the description. I have this video, and I'm going to go ahead and release it because we have to show that God's prophetic word is confirmation to the rest of the world. And I don't think we should judge anybody whether or not if people buy it or not, because God gave Dr. Maria Conwell's specific instructions. Everybody's in a different position. Everybody needs to pray about what they should do. If you guys decide to go in and buy some, to be careful and make sure that you are making a good financial decision, but also that whatever decision you make, that you stick with that decision and you don't knock yourself about it, you don't down yourself about it. Resolve within yourself that you're just buying and holding and waiting for an opportunity for it to go up. So I feel like I have to share the video because we have to show that God's word within the wealth transfer are coming to pass, and what God is showing the people is true. One last thing I do want to bring up, and this deals with Prophet Solomon word on SHINA Inu, SHEENA. I do believe that is a separate cryptocurrency, SHEENA. That was a word that she gave. The prophecies are a little bit different. I believe Dr. Maria Conwell called SHINA his girlfriend, and Prophet Solomon called SHINA his wife. So just in case, some people say she just had it spelled wrong, and it was a confirmation of Dr. Maria Conwell, but we need to be on the lookout for SHEENA, right? SHINA Inu, right? And then now that we've learned from this, if it does come out, when you first buy it, get in at the bottom and then be ready to sell, because all cryptocurrencies that start out fluctuate a lot. So that is all I have for today, folks, with this. God bless. TC out.